Hello, hello, and welcome to Glitch Jams Live. I'm Jen Schiffer, Director of Community here at Fastly, by proxy of the Glitch team, and welcome to our live stream. Uh, let's see. Um, Last week we had to skip last minute. Sorry about that. Had an emergency I had to take care of, but it's all taken care of, and we're back. And so there's a lot to catch up on. We got a lot of show. If you don't know, Glitch Jams Live is our mostly weekly on Friday live stream where I share all the cool apps that the Glitch community is making. We do a little live coding, we do a little bit of jamming, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this week. It's also a new month, which means we have a new prompt for our Glitch community code jams. I will get into that. But first, let's go over what's been new. Shouts out to everyone's in the chat. Shouts out to my coworker Jenn, who's there modding. This is a live stream, so if you're watching live, say hi in the chat. And if you're watching afterwards, thank you for checking the show out. Please like and subscribe. So let's get into the original OG stream screen that we have here. Here we are on glitch.com. Let's talk about what is new. So we've got our app of the week. Letterboxd Last 4 by Derek here is our app of the week. I featured this on the stream before. If you're a Letterboxd user and you want to be able to share on the socials what the last 4 movies you watched were, this app will let you do that. So you can just go to the page here. I think in the stream where I featured it, I had entered Casey, who's on the team. Also, hey, Binary JJ, welcome to the chat. I think I had put in Jeff Bezos as a joke just because I don't have a Letterboxd account. But it like gets the last 4 films you watch. So the Jeff Bezos, I'm kidding, probably not him. Last watch Dune and Starship Troopers. My friends were talking about the movie a lot this week. We had a developer meetup at the Fastly New York City office on Tuesday, and one of the topics that dominated the post talk conversation was the movie Starship Troopers. So I guess we gotta watch that. That is a sign. Anyway, thank you, Derek, for making the app make it easier to share your Letterboxd account. And yeah, if you have those that you want to share, post them on social and tag the Glitch account. We're all over the internet. What else is new at Glitch? We put out our February monthly newsletter. And if you don't get emails or you just prefer to read the newsletter in a different form, we post them on Dev2, usually like a week or so after. So if you go to dev.to/glitch, you can see this and all the past newsletters where I give a little blurb about what's going on. We share what's new on the blog. We also share what the community has been blogging about. And then also we talk about what's been going on in the forum. So if you want to see what's happening in the Glitch community off of actualglitch.com, this is the place to check it out. We also include what's the word? Coupons or coupon codes. If you are new to Glitch Pro and you want to subscribe, you get 25% off, which is a pretty sweet deal. So check that out, dev.to/glitch. Fastly also has a Dev2 page, so if you want technical content about using the rest of Fastly's products, check that out. And Jen is saying in the chat that we search for the hashtag made with glitch across social. So if you share your apps anywhere on social, use hashtag made with glitch. We'll find it. You can comment on any of these videos. You can go to our community forum, support.glitch.com, which I'm about to show you in a second, and share your apps there in the gallery. There's all kinds of ways to tell us what you're creating, or we will find out for you. Anyway, speaking of the forum, other stuff that we've got going on at Glitch is we're still working on deprecating old versions of Node. So yesterday was the deadline to update your apps that are using versions of Node less than 12. This work is currently in progress. and probably will be over the next week or so. If your app goes down because it's using an old version of Node, just go into the editor and update the engine to a higher version that is supported. We have a help doc that talks all about what versions of Node are on containers and all of that. The Pixelated Donut, hey, welcome to the chat. I'm glad you're able to make it. So yeah, this help doc will give you all the information on the node updates that are happening. And this is all in work towards us building a new glitch and just getting things up to date and secure for all the stuff that you want to work on as we work towards getting containers up to date with the latest versions of Node, and also thinking about different languages we may want to more properly support. So yeah, let's see what else is going on. What's going on is, yes, I have my 32-ounce glass jug of iced tea lemonade. So stay hydrated, my friends. Someone says you say that every week. You need to stay hydrated every week. How else are you supposed to write code if you're a shriveled up raisin? Let's see. Here's some things that have been coming from the community that I really loved. Aloe, who is a new member of the community, came in initially wondering how to connect their Perchance app, generator app, to a database on Glitch. And there's some really great back and forth of us trying to debug what was going on. There was like a CORS error. There's always a CORS error. And they figured it out, and what was really cool was that they created a starter. So if you are using Perchance, which is a like text generator app, and you want to connect it to a glitch database, Aloe made a remixable version to get you started. Aloe also made a couple of blog entries for the February blog jam, which I'll go into. But thank you for your work, Aloe. This is the starter. Another really cool app that I saw is actually a syllabus for a course that my pal Todd Anderson and others and other collaborators of his are giving. But the full syllabus is really, really super interesting. So it's HTTP poetics, and the idea is just sharing HTML and CSS used as like poetry. A lot of Todd's work is on like linguistics and words as an art form. He runs a really cool meetup out of New York, out of my other friend Mark's bar, Wonderville in Brooklyn, called Word Hack. And I've spoken at it before about our glitch friendly words NPM package. But it's a lot of people who come together using code and technology and linguistics mixed together. So if you like words, which you probably do, and you like tech, which you probably do, otherwise why are you here? You should kind of check out Word Hack, and also this app here. In particular, what I like is that there's a section places to find interesting websites. Which is really cool. There's some things that I knew about already, like I subscribe to Naive Weekly, but there's a lot of really other like cool stuff that you can check out, and cool artists. Like I know Everest, I know Neil's work, and you can see they like linked to a post by Anil. It's just like a really cool syllabus. Also, it goes into the different exercises the class is making. Oh look, they do an intro to glitch on week 1. I missed that. I did not see that, but I'm not surprised and I love it. But they go into the syllabus each week so this is kind of something that you can follow along like on your own. You don't necessarily have to be a student at. I think this is being taught. This is probably the new school in New York. Maybe NYU ITP. I'm not sure. There's a lot of like programs in the New York City area, at least, that have welcome and celebrate really interesting curriculums like this. So anyway, HTTP Poetics, that glitch.me, love it. Thank you, Todd, for sharing your work. Actually, let me go to Todd's profile. There's some other cool stuff that you can check out here. For his class, they had done online haunted houses, there's all sorts of cool stuff that you can check out that come from like his students as well. So that is neat. Thank you. Let me look at the chat, see what folks are talking about. Pixelato says, "Wow, a programmer that does not drink coffee." I do drink coffee, but it is 2:13 right now p.m. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, and so I have my coffee at like if I'm working from home, which I do on Fridays, so I can do the stream, I usually have my coffee at like 9 in the morning. And if I'm working in the office, I usually grab a coffee, an iced latte with almond milk, a double shot if it's one of those kinds of days. Generally around like probably around 9 a.m. My afternoon coffee time is usually after this stream. In fact, I don't know if there's a pot brewing, but there will be. But yeah, I definitely do drink coffee. But during the stream, I'm like, let me make it a point to drink more water. Um, that's just kind of one of my like intentions for the year is drink more water than I do caffeine. And this is like Crystal Light powder. It's like sugarless, like iced tea flavor, no caffeine. Binary Judge says my body is half coffee. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna. I have like I'm having like more flashbacks to grad school and how much coffee I was drinking all the time, and it was bad coffee too. At least now, like in my age, the coffee I'm drinking is like good quality coffee, not like gas station coffee. Although, mad respect to the gas station coffee community, like you got the job done. So yeah. Um, let's see what else are folks talking about. Binary just got the polar seltzer. Um, Pixelated says Coors is number 2 on my list of fears, right after airport security. Oh my gosh, that's so real. Um, I was just like talking to a coworker yesterday about how nothing stresses me out more than security theater at the airport. And then I'm like, the only thing in tech, the only thing that makes me cry besides airport security theater is Git. So I would say Git comes first tech wise, and then Cores is after. But I've seen enough Cores issues with people making apps on Glitch, not because Glitch causes Cores issues. It's just the nature of using APIs and making calls to different apps. But I've seen so much of it that I feel a lot more comfortable being able to like solve that issue. It's all practice. I don't practice much with Git, therefore it's still something that causes me a lot of issues. In fact, are any of you doing anything with version control that's not Git? I'm curious as to whether y'all are using any other version control systems, because in my past jobs we were using like SVN and what was the other one? Is it CVS? I know CVS is a drugstore. I might have a book about it. I have all my computer books behind me. Um, I might have gotten rid of that one. Uh, but yeah. John Williams said instant Arnold Palmer powder sophistication. I it's we call it my big chugs. This is like it's good. It's good. I'm trying to drink more water, especially when I'm sitting down at my computer all the time. So anyway, I've got more to show. Let's get into it. Oh, and Johnson Mercurial is another popular open source control. Yes. Let's see. Oh, so remember, if you were here, you might remember. If you weren't here, I'll remind you. I shared this app from Mapsmania. Mapsmania is a blog, and they make a lot of cool like map-related apps. And so, in this app, you can choose which horse you are, and like kind of bet. And it's just like a horse racing simulator, and it like randomly speeds up the horses. You can view the source and look at how it works. But in that stream, I think this was 2 weeks ago, I put out a challenge, if you will, to one of my teammates in the chat, Sean, who also lives in Jersey with me, and he happens to like horse racing. And I was like, you should remix this app and make it so that they race around the state of New Jersey. And Yo, it's the Jersey Derby. Sean did just that. Shouts out to Sean. Sean's on PTO this week. But here we are. We've got a map of Jersey, and we're about to race these two horses all around. Did you know that New Jersey has the most horses, like the largest horse to, I think, human ratio? Yeah, there's like New Jersey's got like the most registered like owned horses in the entire country. Uh, so let's start the race. I always pick blue because it's my favorite color. I mean, although it does look like blue has a shorter track to race, um, but I encourage you to remix this app and make them race around all different kinds of things. But let's see. Even though Blue Horse has the advantage, let's see if it actually gets the win. I also thought it would be funny if you were to remix this and to make the horses move at the speed that they would actually be racing if they were racing all around New Jersey, where like you have to keep the tab open for days. I don't know. How long do you think it would take two horses to race around the entire edge of the state of New Jersey? That sounds like a crazy job interview question, but let's see. We're getting close. He also had the race starting in the area where we were at near New York City. Red's slipping. Even I would say even blue having the advantage. Blue's about to win. Um, yeah. Look, I want my whoa. Red's moving super fast. Um, here it comes. So not too far after. And there we go. There we go. So we won. Anyway, thank you, Sean, for obliging at my requests for remixes to Jerseyify our community's apps. So yeah, that's Jersey Derby, which is a remix of Mappy Races from Maps Mania, which I feature Maps Mania like basically on a weekly basis. They make a lot of really cool uh, projects. Meet Middle, I think, was where you can pick two locations and it'll calculate a midpoint. So if you have like a friend that you want to meet and you're tired of having to go, if you live in Jersey and you have a friend in Brooklyn and you're always having to go to Brooklyn to meet them for brunch, and you're like, how about for once you come to Jersey City? And they're like, I don't want to go to Jersey City. Let's meet at a halfway point. Then you can use this map to meet it, so it's fair. Definitely not didn't trigger a personal point with me, but yeah. Okay, one more app before we get into jam stuff. um, Yanni Paper made a map of the Guadalajara area and mapped locations that sell. I think they're called drowning cakes, torta ahogadas. I've never been to Guadalajara, but they had said on Twitter they had found a map that someone else in another region uh, of Mexico had set, like they mapped tacos and like where they're sold, and they're like, we're known for our torta ahogadas, so here's a map of where you can find those. So if you happen to be traveling to the area, try it. I've never had them. They look really good, and they're very like they're literally drowning in like the syrup or sauce, so they're kind of messy, which means they're probably delicious as hell. So yeah, typical New Yorker. um, so yeah, thank you for making that cool app. I just love maps. What can I say? They're very inspiring. So that's why most of them end up being what we feature. Okay, let's close out some of these tabs. Pixely says the first and last time I had tacos, everything fell apart. It's very philosophical. We had years ago, many years ago, when Glitch was a project at a company called Fog Creek. Fog Creek would have like destination on sites, and we had one in Cabo San Lucas, and it was like a fancy like resort kind of place. But I got to take a cooking class, which is really really neat. We made guacamole, we made ceviche, and it was delicious. And we got to they like made for us to bring home like little cookbook booklets of the recipes, and I still have it. I wish it was within arm's reach, but my cookbooks are all the way over there. But yeah, there's a little bit of glitch lore. Um, but that was that, and I remember we were flying back from the trip, and my landlord at the time called me and was like, "Are is your bathroom flooding?" And I thought it was kind of I don't know, it was addressed, it was delivered like it was a "is your fridge running" joke. And I was like, I don't think that my bathtub is running. I am not in the same country as it. And so I had the entire leg of the trip home on my mind was, oh my gosh, is my tub overflowing? Because there was a flood in my downstairs neighbor's apartment, and my landlord was based in Berlin. So he was calling me from Germany, and I'm in Mexico, and in New Jersey there was potentially a tub overflowing in my name. And I got home and everything was dry. Everything was fine. It turns out that a pipe below my shower had burst, but like that wasn't my problem. Anyway, you asked. Uh, okay, it's March 1st. Last week on the stream, I was going to continue the blog roll that I had started building in 11T. And I am going to do that today because we had last minute canceled that stream. There's still some work. I have unfinished business that I will attend to, but it is March 1st. And so I am very excited to be able to kick off with you here. You're hearing this first. The jam prompt for March 2024. And that's screensavers. Screensavers. So, as I said here, back in the days of CRT and plasma computer monitors, I brought one out here for you to see. Screensavers were used to prevent a left alone image from literally burning into screens. You can like, I'll search. You can search burned screens, and you can see uh, airport terminals and all that kind of stuff with the image burnt into the screen. And so screensavers were used to constantly keep the screens active so that the phosphor wouldn't burn. That's not really a problem anymore with devices today. You can like have with LED screens, I think it's called image retention, where if it's just showing the same screen for a while and you switch to another screen, it retains that image, but it's not permanent like actual burning had been. Um, but we still see screensavers. Our televisions still come with screensavers. Um, and they're just like kind of fun to make. They're hypnotic, they're animated. Um, I consider them an art in their own, and I think others do as well. And so I figured this month, let's bring more of them to life on Glitch. And so, whatever the screensaver prompt inspires you to do throughout the month of March, add the hashtags CodeJam and Screensavers to your project description, and you will be a part of the jam. Pixely Note says, seeing a CRT all of a sudden feel really young. Yeah, this is a smaller one. I don't know how old this one is. This is my partner Andy's. I had until I moved to my apartment to this place a year ago. My main television that I would watch every night was a large, I think it was a Toshiba CRT, cathode ray tube. It was probably about a bajillion pounds, which I can't convert to metric, but maybe like 5 million grams. I don't know, it's probably bigger than that. Anyway, it was really heavy and it wasn't working as well. I used to have to hit the side of it to get all the colors to show, because sometimes it would just, everything would be green. There would be like no blue or red available. And if I just like hit it, that's like how old that tech is. And so when I moved, it was like, okay, I got to get rid of this thing Now, I now understand, and don't do this, but I understand why people do it. I had to spend like $200 to $300 to have this ginormous, so heavy CRT removed from my home, um, from a 3-floor walk up, and to be disposed of properly and recycled, whatever parts it could be. I get now why people just leave them on the side of the road because it's so expensive. But still, you know, it's bad for the environment to leave that stuff on the side of the road, and they can be dangerous. Those TVs can like explode. Um, so don't do that. But this one is working, and this one we usually keep in our living room, and we connect to it a Raspberry Pi that has a bunch of like music videos. I love watching old music videos, and so we have this here next to our actual TV. So yeah, Binary just said good for you doing that. I would have left it. Yeah, I appreciate the positive reinforcement of doing the right thing there, because my gosh, that was hard. Um, I can't show on stream photos of me giving the TV the middle finger as the guys I hired to remove it were taking it away. It was I'll miss the TV. I had it for a very, very, very long time. But my gosh, what a pain in the butt. Um, it's, you know, even this thing is like kind of heavy and like needs a new plastic cover. We just got a 3D printer, so I think Andy's gonna print a better cover for this. But this is pretty heavy, but it has handles on the sides of it. Actually, while I'm showing it, I have, see, there's a handles on the side to better easily pick it up, but it is pretty heavy. I don't have it plugged in. If I turn it on, it won't do anything, but yeah. Pixelated says, why would you throw it out? I've been scouring local markets for CRT so I can connect a Raspberry Pi to it and do cool stuff. This TV that I got rid of was on the verge of like, I was afraid it was gonna explode. Like the sound it was making, the way I had to hit it to get colors working, it was like, I was like, this device is dangerous. Even like Andy, who's an electrical engineer, it was just like, it's time to like safely get rid of this. But we do have a couple that are good, and yeah, they are a hot commodity. But there's a very, there's a pretty big community, at least in the New York City area, of like retro gamers and chiptune musicians and just people that build their art around the aesthetic of like old CRTs. So they're surprisingly like all around, at least like in our friend group. But yeah, but this thing, I love this thing. And I hope it lasts forever. But you know, nothing really does. Um, but yeah, you can. They're also, yeah, great for connecting like the retro consoles too. Andy made a game where you use the duck hunt gun, um, and like that, you need like a television like this for that gun to work, I believe. Um, and yeah, that's cool. It's cool stuff. Anyway, that's the CRT that I brought out to talk about screensavers. I figured before I get into jumping back into the blog roll stuff I've been doing, I wanted to share some inspiration for you, because I went on to Glitch the other day and I was like, let me find some cool screensaver apps. Um, and so let's get into it. This one is the coolest screensaver. Great name. A lot of these names that people chose were really, really good ones. This one just like shows a UFO and says the truth is out there. And I think it's just on a loop. I feel like it's text, so you could probably remix it and have it say whatever you want to say. And that's pretty cool. Pipes screensaver. This is inspired by, I believe this was a Windows 98 screensaver, and Lex 2104 made a version on the web. Um, this is like, these like things like this is what I think of when I think of screensavers, like the Windows like 95, 98 ones. But really, really cool. This is something I made. I figure I jumped into this. I recently got a certification in 3JS Journey. I learned 3JS and doing 3D stuff in Blender. This is one of the earlier projects that I had made. It's a generative project that just takes text and throws random little Cheerios or donuts. Pixelated donut, this one's for you. And so it does have like a very subtle animation. You can zoom in and out of it. And so if you view the source of it, let's view the source. You can just find where. Actually, let me just go in the editor. And in the source, it's an experience. There is a text 3D component. This is using React 3 Fiber, which I learned as part of the course, which just makes working with 3JS like in the editor just a much better experience. But you can change this text to anything, and it will like it'll have it say that. So anyway, that's Bugs Rock. And yeah, if you, I think using 3JS is a really great tool for making cool 3D animation, screensaver kind of stuff. Jen said, "Are these bagels or donuts?" I saw them as like Cheerios. From let's see, from far away, they are. There's a couple others. I have a playlist on my profile of some of the 3JS stuff that I've been doing. And this is just one of them. I added it because it's got that like subtle animation, which is like really like all you need. You want to keep the pixels moving so the screen doesn't get burned. Strangely, I think Jen, you added this to the playlist after I had originally created it. Rowan Merwood has a lot of really cool 3D animation generative stuff, and strangely just creates these really like cool patterns, and you can save them as well. I step away from the mic to take a sip. I think we have another one from Rowan here. Oh, this one's from Tiago. This is an aquarium with fishies. This is one of my favorites. Like, if I want this actually to be my actual screensaver, I'm gonna visit it in a full window. And look at that, it's just so cute. They start to move around, they change directions. I love the little snails on the floor, little mushrooms. Just like cute stuff like that. No interaction needed, just cool vibes. And pretty hypnotic. I love it. This one's funny. You're not gonna be able to see this one because it creates pop-ups. I can't show my full screen because it's chaos. If you go to Bubble Screensaver Windows, it's gonna open up like 8 little windows of bubbles. It's gonna move around your screen. All you gotta do is close the tab and they will go away. Cinta, which actually won our best WebXR experience from the last year on Glitch roundup. This is a really beautiful watercolor-based WebXR experience of the Panamanian coast, and it's just like really beautiful. It's subtle. I love the cars moving. It has sound. It's just really, really, really cool. Pixelated Don't says, "Is there anything that lets you set websites as actual screensavers?" You know, I don't know. That's like a good thing. I will look into that because that's like a good idea. I was thinking like this is like nostalgia for screensavers, but yeah, it would be nice to see like if it can be something that you can select at the operating system level. Although I like it's hard because from a security standpoint, it's hard to like have a website enabled to be set as something at the operating system level, like a screensaver, but turning the animation into an executable that you can then add is something that we can look into. Anyway, I love Cinta so much. Koi Garden is a classic. This one's got sound too if you want want. And you could also view it on a headset. It's a VR app from Ada Rose Cannon. She made a while ago, and it's just literally just like I'm dragging around, but it's just koi fishies swimming around in the water. I love it. And I think the sound is just like kind of like ambient, pretty sounds. We actually have this on one of the screens in New York City office because I was testing out with someone from our IT team of like, can we have the screensavers of the screens in our office be glitch apps like this? And we tested out with one and it worked. So now I just want to set it for all of them. And we've got a bunch of screen apps to do that with. Here's another one from Rowan. This is a good remixable one if you want to have it show different like rainbow images. It's just a pendulum, and it's entirely made with CSS, which is really cool. So you can have different emojis in there and maybe try moving the pendulum wider, all that kind of stuff. Something good to get you started. Mystify is one of a few really cool apps from Ben Garvey. Let me open it up in its own window. I believe this is also inspired by an OG screensaver on Windows. And this is just like a colorful, rotating mesh texture kind of moving around, which is really, really nice. I want to see actually how it's made. So I'm going to view the source. Let's see. Okay. So it's using just the Canvas API in HTML and JavaScript. Moving everything around. So it's just a bunch of math. This is like, I've said this before in the stream. I wish that core math curriculums introduced generative art early on so that students understand the utility of math also applies to the arts, which are as important, sometimes if not more, than some other subjects. I learned math to make art and vice versa. And so I don't want you to get like intimidated if you're not into algebra or geometry. You can remix an app like Mystify and play around with the numbers and see what happens. And that's really cool. Just changing variables. Like that's like the power of algebra. And these generative art apps are a great utility to do that with. So yeah, remix it, play, pop in a bunch of different numbers and see what happens. Screensavers, I'm definitely gonna open this in a new window. This creator has made another app similar that's a bunch of little games that they're working on. This one is some screensavers that they're trying out. I love Sunset City. That's really cool. Pixely Don't says fractals are such a cool and beautiful thing. It's basically math and it's criminal people don't know about it. It's literally math. It's just gorgeous, beautiful math. You see fractals in like cruciferous vegetables. Like it's literally a part of nature. Like math wasn't something that was just like invented. It was something that we culled out of the beauty of nature to explain actually like why things happen. So yeah. Anyway, I love this screensaver. Let's look at the other ones. Math symbols, little multiplications, and little shapes. I feel like these are good ones to start from if you want to create your own screensavers. And don't worry, the DVD screensaver is coming up. I found a bunch of those by the community. Blue Infinite Scroll. This is my brain when I'm disassociating. This is what's going on inside of there. Cars on a Track. That's like a nice car. Like I was expecting it to just be like a rectangle box. I'm not sure like what is this element? Okay, it's an animation with a background image. that's moving on a cubic Bezier curve infinitely. And this is all okay, this is all CSS. So like those are the wheels. I'm turning it off and on. And then before, what's before? Okay, that's the street lines. And then the after, the body of the car. So they have the body, which has the wheels, and they're using the before and after keywords to add the car and the lines. Like literally all CSS. That's so awesome. So you could like remix it and play around and have this be like a different color car or anything like that, which is really neat. And then the last one on here, cloud scroll, which is just an image moving. And yeah. Pixelato says, haha, I was gonna make a DVD one, guess not. That's fine. You can make DVD. Actually, there's a bunch of DVD ones, but none of them, I think, like, quite were exactly what I was expecting. I think some of the DVD menus were different, but you definitely should do it anyway. And maybe, like, change it to be another image or another set of abbreviations or something like that. When do we get to... Let me see. Let me see where... I think I added a DVD one. You know what? Maybe I couldn't find a working one. There was one that maybe I meant to add, but it just said DVD. It didn't have like the logo, and it was moving very fast. I think that was I think some of the screensaver apps on here that people had made would start flashing colors, and I don't like to include those on playlists because people who are photosensitive, I don't want them to accidentally miss my note where I warned them about it. Um, and so I tend to leave things with like flashing colors out of stuff like this. If you do use flashing colors, that's okay. Just like put a proper warning, maybe like an alert box at the start when you open the app, letting people know that they have photosensitivity issues or epilepsy to like just close out and keep scrolling. But yeah. Anyway, CSS is crazy. Like, it is just really super cool. Try the bubble screensaver Windows one though, please, because I feel like what they're doing is very clever. Again, I can't like it pops up different windows. So you can't see it on my stream. But and as soon as I click view source, it changes the window and so it closes all of those windows. But let me view the source of this one. So what it does is it will get your screen size and it will generate rectangles of this bubble, this like soap bubble image. And it does 8 of them. So for 8 of them, it creates that rectangle. It renders it and then like it updates the location and the bubbles move around like all on the screen. And that's like pretty neat. And then it listens for when the tab closes to hear this before unload. It then closes each of the windows, which I thought was really super interesting. I was like, oh, when it opened all like the 8 windows of bubbles, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna like, it's gonna take me forever to close all of these. And then I closed the tab and they disappeared. And I was like, oh, how did they do that? I've never used the before unload event listener before. Actually, MDN before unload. Let's see. The before unload event is fired when the current window, contained document, and associated resources are about to be unloaded. The document is still visible and the event is still cancelable at this point. Binary just said, oh, I just did it. Yeah, it's like super cool, right? Let's see how they update it. So they have an update function that happens on a set interval. And for each of them, I think it just gets like the current location and just like kind of moves it more subtly. Pixelated says, quick question, how do I get rid of these? They're not going away. Close the tab that the original app is on, and they should go away because it calls that event listener. Because that's what this before unload event is doing. And then if it doesn't, then it's only 8 little bubbles. But yeah, it's really clever. I don't know. When I clicked on it because I was looking at screensaver apps, I was like, oh, like that's really cool. And then they all popped up, and I was like, oh, come on, like constantly trolled by the glitch community. Like, anyway, I gotta keep an eye out for that stuff. Thanks you. That was a nice one. So yeah, those are. I hope that those were inspiring. They're inspiring for me. I think in the stream next week, I'm going to. I'm starting to think about what screensaver I want to make. I want to do something with the glitch fish, having them kind of swimming in an ocean. And I kind of have something to get started because years ago, Andy had started making like a little like game where the glitch fish were a character and he never finished it. So I think I'm just gonna like take it and remix it and bring it to completion as a screensaver. So I'll do that in the stream starting next week. But we got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about blogs. Last month, our jam prompt was welcome to my blog. And I had asked folks to submit either apps inspired by blogs or just share your blog because I'm starting a blog roll. And so this is what it looks like so far. It looks like not finished because it's not. What I had done like 2 weeks ago in the last stream was I made an 11T app. And in it, I decided that I would list everything in a blog's data JSON file. I have gone through some of the blogs that were submitted, and I added the ones that like I have to moderate the ones that I don't know about because I don't want to put anything that's gonna like be like spammy or have like malicious content on that. But I found the ones from people that like I know, like their blogs I do know. And so I only have I think like 12 here or so. But I have the usernames, all the information I had asked for in the Google form. Some of you are in here. And so what we have now is we have a list of some of the blogs. Again, what is it, like 12 of them? I'm gonna be putting the rest of them next week once I go through everything on the sheet and moderate them. And then when you click on either of them, like the donut blog, it will have all the information about that blog. Right now it just says who it's by. The pixelated donut. And then you can go back and see here. So let's do that. Let me show you the code. So we start with like this is that homepage that lists for all of the blogs that are in here. And it links to a page. And we had set up this as a paginated page. Every page goes to this template where it says the blog title, a blog by whoever, and our layouts are in here. This is the blog layout. So we had set it to paginate what the slug is going to be, blog / whatever the title is. We pass through a Slugify filter so that the title isn't like URL friendly. It becomes so. That's like a nice thing that 11T does. Oh, Naoto's in the chat. What's up? Let's see. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. So let's see if we can add other information to the blog. So I'm going to use you as an example, Calby. So we've got this. I'm going to just copy and paste this as scrap so I remember what the value names are. Okay. Okay, so we have the title of the page, a blog by this person. And let's just do a list. And we'll just do an item for every piece of information that we have about the blog. So we have URL, and we want to call this little Nunjux template with double brackets inside of it. So we know that we have URL here, so we'll just do blog.url. And I want the text to be the same, so we pop it in there. So I'll say the URL. Let's do this for every other item that's on here. So we've got the title and the header already. We say the host, blog.host, stack, blog.stack, 11t, just like this. Description would be nice to have as a block quote, because it's almost kind of like a quote from the author. And so description, moderated true is something I had pulled from a spreadsheet. So actually I don't need this like moderated property. What I was doing is, so it's a Google form that I have y'all submitting it, and I'm gonna add the link back to the actual glitch blog so you can continue submitting that stuff as they come. But I had added a column to the results spreadsheet, moderated true, and I had a script that I ran to convert the Google Sheet to a CSV, or to convert it to a JSON file that I just copied and pasted into here, because I just did not want to have to manually type everything. And this is JSON, so you can't have trailing commas on JSON files, which, you know, is a choice that was made, and we have to live by it, and that's just the spice of life. Pixelato says, maybe add the moderated true as an if block so that you can keep adding entries without showing up on the site. That is an option. I don't... The issue with that is I definitely moderate on the spreadsheet level, and to also moderate on the app level can lead to more mistakes because there's a redundancy in that. Also, hey Naoto, I see you here. I'm gonna... I don't know if I could thank... Oh yeah, I've thanked you already, but you can join in the editor that I'm here. It's a inexpensive flower dessert. I keep messing up the words dessert and desert this week because I learned about desert rain frogs 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're like the best frog ever, next to my little coffee frog here. But I keep calling them dessert rain frogs, and then people online correct me, and I double down. I'm like, no, I meant dessert rain frogs, but I didn't. Fun little fact for yous. This is what we got so far. There's a little block quote. We have like no styling yet. We got the information listed, so we're good there. Okay, let's go back. What else do we have left? Okay, best post. I think the question I had said was like if we could only read one blog post, this is the one. And so I might actually have that called out separate, as let's see. Let's do an H2. If you can read only one post from this blog, this is the one. And I think that this is a URL. I wonder if, I'm not sure if all of the, I didn't like say it has to be a URL. So some people put titles. So I can go back and edit that to be URLs. I'll probably do that. But I'm gonna, for now, just put blog.bestpost. Let's see here. Pixelated says no styling. OMG, is that what the last code jam was? A default style sheet? That actually, I was intending to add the drop down to choose the different style sheets to this blog roll. But also, something that we've got coming up is we are migrating the Glitch blog. We've got some exciting things in store there, and I want to have this blog roll be a part of that. And so you can like go on the blog, and then there's a link to the community blog roll, and you click through, and it's this list. So it'll probably be styled like that. But for this like proof of concept, this app here, I figured it'd be cool to use one of the style sheets from the style sheets jam. So good thinking and synergy there. Okay, I think that's all the information that we have here for this blog. And here you go. This is Casey's post blog, a mishmash of sharing projects. Here's the URL, stack, and then here's a header element, and Casey's answer is some text and a link. And so, yeah. Nayana suggested after inactivity it should show a screensaver. That's actually really funny. I have that's a good idea for a site. I recently updated my personal site to outside of business hours close. Like it just says like the site's closed during business hours. So if you like go to it outside, I won't tell you what the hours are because when you're outside of business hours and you go to my site, and these are East Coast business hours, it'll say it's closed. And then it links to like a YouTube video and like it directs you to install an npm package if you want to find out what hours my website's open. Why do I do that? Because I feel like it, and it's fun. But like adding a screensaver to your website, that's pretty cool. Maybe that's something that I'll do for this proof of concept. I'll add a screensaver to this as my submission to the screensaver prompt. You see, this is why I love that this is live in the chat. Y'all are in there giving me these really great ideas. Anyway, we have a blog roll. We've got some data inside of it. It's not pretty looking, but it gets the job done. And it's 3:01 p.m. my time, business hours. So I think I'm gonna end right here. Next week, I will continue the blog roll and the screensaver for it. I'll have everything up to date, I think, of all the submissions to the blog roll. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm glad that I'm ending the stream with an idea of what I'm going to build. Because sometimes I'm like, what the frick am I going to build live in front of everybody? And I don't know, it always works out, which is great. Anyway, thank you for joining me this week. I hope you all have a good, nice weekend. I hope you stay hydrated. And yeah, like and subscribe. If you hit the bell if you want to get alerts. And I will see you on glitch.com.